What's good, my peoples? You are watching another episode of Mental Telepathy's Arena, and I am your host, the lyrical genius Black Titanium. Today's topic, besides the youth, of course, is going to be on delusional people. And I think y'all already know, once I say delusional people, you already know where I'm going with this. But I want to speak about it anyway, because I like to give people a geometrical view of how people become delusional. Okay? Now, as you know, I'm out in the struggle. I'm out here in the struggle, and I go through the struggle every day of being in my world, the world that I'm in, and being persecuted for the life that I choose to lead. I'm really speaking to my Muslim brothers and sisters, because as a person who's been in the Deen of Islam for over 40 years, you sit here and basically you see an amazing transformation from how I began and to the stage that I am in now. Okay? Now, when I first came in the Deen, for those who choose to listen, I had so much compassion for the Deen. I was like, oh man, that was like probably one of the best days of my life. Real talk, I ain't even gonna lie, that was probably one of the best days of my life. It's taking the Shahada and being a convert into the Deen of Islam. Because at the time that I came into it, it was basically A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillah ar-Rahmanir Rahim. You know, the devil and they little followers try to come by. But anyway, man, it was probably the best day of my life as I took the Shahada, because at a time that I came into the Deen, Islam was flourishing, like as you could say in America. It was at a stage like this. You could come into the mosque and you could say Assalamu alaikum. You just throw that up in the air, and everybody in unison would say, Wa alaikum wassalam, brother, how you doing? And I mean, like, people would actually turn around and and like smile, how you doing, brother? Where you been? Where you going? We had a rule at the mosque, right? Let me give you an example, a few examples. We had a rule at the mosque that if a brother and sister went out wherever they went, on a little journey or wherever they went, and they was missing for more than 3 days, they would send somebody out to look for you, to inquire about you. Whether they went to your family members to ask about you, or whether wherever they went, they searched for you. Trust me. Because when you're a true believer in the Deen, your heart is connected to the mosque. If you're a true believer in Christianity, your heart will be connected to the place where you seek sanctuary, the church. If you're a Jew, a Jewish person practicing Judaism, your heart and your mind will be connected to the synagogue. It's just that simple. So as when we grew up, when I was coming up in the Deen, we had they got you married. If a brother wanted to get married, this is how. If a brother wanted to get married at the mosque, they would match his characteristics to the woman who had the same characteristics as his. This is how well they knew your character. And it was required. It was basically required that you know a brother and a sister's characteristics, because of the fact that if somebody from the outside of the mosque, one of the disbelievers, all those little devil's followers, they come from outside, and they would tell them, yo, your brother did this or your sister did this. They could say, okay, due to the fact that they know your characteristics, they could say, hold up, we got to match this up. They would match what they telling you they would match that up with your characteristics. And they would say, nah, this don't sound like that brother. This don't sound like that sister. Let's go, all right, we're going to go out and we're going to investigate this. If somebody came into the mosque and actually said, yo, listen, we had to do this to your brother, we had to get at him. First of all, they wasn't even having that. When I was coming up in the deen, trust me, the Muslims had so much respect that you wasn't disrespecting the nigga in the street. You wasn't disrespecting no brothers and sisters in the street, snatching off sisters' hijabs, getting brothers in isolation and doing them dirty. It wasn't none of that happening without there being retribution, without there being retaliation and repercussions. We didn't give a damn about no cops, none of that other shit. Now, you do that. They try to label you an extremist. If you a Muslim who pray 5 times a day, they try to label you an extremist. Or most of these niggas done gave in to the system, not just because they were scared. Nah, not because they were scared. Not just because they were scared, but for money. For the fact that basically they wanted to join them anyway because they was practicing voodoo, witchcraft, and black magic. Since we live in a society where voodoo, witchcraft, and black magic is by popular demand now. Most of the women consult the Jamaicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Africans, the Arabs. They consult these niggas so that they can control their boyfriends and their husbands. The Muslims already know that. It's in Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayat 102, that why they started practicing magic. They got jealous of Solomon because Allah gave him the power to control the jinn and control the birds and the animals. So they got jealous of that. So they start running around telling everybody, yo, he practicing magic. So what we gonna do? We gonna teach y'all magic, and we gonna go against him, and we gonna battle him in witchcraft and magic and all this shit when it wasn't even true. So that's where all of that come about, because they say that it came out. They practice it for the sake of separating a man and his wife. Excuse me, I'm in my office, but they do it so that they can separate a man from his wife, and a wife from her husband. So a lot of, if you notice that's the tradition of a lot of Africans. This is why they have so much turmoil going on in their country, because that's shirk. That's called shirk in Islam, practicing magic, voodoo, witchcraft. All of that's God says that you can't put something on the pedestal of the level of Him. God is a jealous God, so He's not going to let you do that. So He says once you do that, that's the only unforgivable sin in the Quran. I don't mean to stray off the subject, but when they do that, they know that they're going to the hellfire. This is the point I was making. They know that, you can't practice that and come back to the church, the mosque, or the synagogue and pray it away. Once you make a deal with the devil, you actually have to live up to your end of the bargain. God is not an unjust God, not even against the devil. So if you make that deal with him, you got to give up your soul when he come to collect. And God is not going to interfere with that. But this is what I make this point to say another point of Muslims and all these other niggas being delusional. This is where they become delusional, because they have to tell themselves, feed themselves a bunch of insecurities and a bunch of delusional excuses that tells them that I'm still going to be able to go to heaven, when they know they not. Deep in their heart. See one thing about white people, they know that they not going to heaven. So what they do, what they women do, they women become initiated witches. What the men do, they become initiated demons or whatever whatever they become. White people are intelligent enough to know that they know that 97% of their race is going to the hellfire. So what they do, they go all the way with it. They say, man, we're not gonna play with this. We gonna pray to the devil. We're gonna bring out Lucifer shows, all of that. So they bringing all of that into society because they know they're going to the hellfire. But the objective is to get you to join them. This is a lot of our cultures, a lot of black people, a lot of Chinese people, a lot of Puerto Ricans. All these niggas have joined them by practicing Santa Maria, by practicing all the bullshit that they excuse my language, all the stuff that they practice. You notice that I'm trying to work on my profanity because the Muslims, now that you put them on blast about they little delusional, they little coward ways. They basically want to go against you in society too. They now teaming up with the disbelievers to try to isolate you, and try to basically, because like I said, when people are delusional, they don't want to be told anything about themselves. This is why you'll find many Muslims, Christians, and Jews that will not open up their books. Muslims will not open up their Qurans unless they fronting on somebody and they trying to be seen of men, and they trying to quote the Quran. Same thing with Christians. They will not open up the Bible. They go to church and they will take the words of the pastors and they would just they would just take that on face value. Okay, whatever he say, that's true. Because and same thing with Jews. When they go on astray, they will not open up the Torah. They will not open up the Torah. And this is what God tells the Muslims. He says, believe in all of my books. See, Islam is the only religion where God will tell his servants, read all of my books. The Quran is not just the only book. No. The Bible is my book and the Torah is my book. Read it all. Because you will never if you don't read the Bible, you will never get the deep and depth description of Revelations. This is why you got a lot of Muslims now who don't know what's about to happen to them. They don't know. They do not understand that they know that they're dealing with the enemy. They just because they gave them some businesses and some jobs, these niggas they actually feeling themselves. But they don't understand that this is why Allah tells you in Surah 3, Al-Imran, in Ayat 118 through 122 or 125, something like that. It's in Al-Imran. He tells you, O ye who believe, take not those outside of your ranks into your intimacy, but surely they will not fail to corrupt you. They only desire your ruins. Rank hatred has appeared out of their mouths against you, and the hatred that's concealed in their hearts for you is even greater. Take heed if you would use reason. But you are those who love them, and they love you not. And this is so true. And this is what I mean when I say a lot of people read words off the page, but their comprehension level is very low. Because when Allah says do not accept them into your intimacy, he think it's sexual. No, intimacy means you breaking bread with them. Intimacy means you bringing them into your house, and a lot of people do that. A lot of Muslims do that. They don't like to hear this. They don't like to hear nothing because the Torah, the Bible, and the Quran is like a mirror reflection. Everything that has happened, everything that will happen, and everything that's gonna happen is in there. All you got to do is open it up and read. But a lot of Muslims will not read that Quran, man. They'll talk about hadith until their heads fall off. Like hadith supersedes the haqq. No, it doesn't. And this is where the delusion comes in. People who so knee deep in sin, selling beer, pork, lottery tickets, just doing all type of, loving their enemies. You know how many times I done went in the store. The dude was Muslim, and he actually hugging on the white man, the white woman, hugging on the disbeliever, these street thug niggas. And then when I come in, he know I'm Muslim. Basically, and he see that these niggas don't like me, he'll be on their side. A bunch of these fake ass niggas will. And they can't stand the fact that I don't have no fear for these niggas. They actually think that I'm under the rule of oppression of these niggas. Basically, they try to play the mind game with you. Yo, you throwing yourself into oppression, da da da. No, nigga, please. Allah says oppression is worse than slaughter. And for you to sit up here and revel in it and find 10,000 excuses why you should be a coward, that means you got something to answer for. Because speaking out against it is the weakest form of faith, as you niggas know. So this is where you feed yourself a bunch of delusion. A bunch of delusional ass niggas. You, your money grubbing, money hungry wives and all of that, that's running you. Yeah, but most of these chicks is running these niggas. Because once they find out that their husbands have given in to the oppressor and sacrificed their souls and their children's souls, the woman now runs the relationship. And most of these women are running these niggas. Yeah. A bunch of these niggas are being ran by their wives and their girlfriends. Yeah, with the Jezebel spirits. Real talk. Real talk. This is why they try to flush me back to the chicken head that I was with as my baby mother, because it is all part of the sisterhood. That's why, this is one of the reasons why the conspiracy runs far and wide. You'll see women, they'll get satisfaction. They'll see if you can flush them back that way. We need them to go back that way. So that way, they don't want you to take care of your children, because these niggas don't care nothing about no youth, man, no children, or none of that. They just want to see you be in a position where the white man can walk by you and laugh at you, and they can walk by you with the white man and laugh at you. They want to see you suffering, and they want to see your children suffering. Real talk. This is why Allah says, yo man, just go away for 6 months, and they will see how you fare, and you will see how they fare. Because one thing you got to understand, you cannot mess over any servants of Allah without your. He already tells me. I don't even have to see it. Allah tells me that in the Quran. He says, if you suffer an affliction through their hands, or anything that belongs, they destroy anything that belongs to me. You suffer an affliction through their hands. You can believe that they're going to suffer the same afflictions and worse. He already told me that, so I don't even have to see it. But anyway, he puts me in that position where I get to see it. These niggas they fall victim, and you see all of these niggas in the streets, man. Because you know why? That's how karma is universal law, man. Nobody gets around it. When you mess over God's servants, you can believe it's going to happen to you and worse. Straight jacket. This is why a lot of these niggas that be, my baby mother who be consulting these Jamaican niggas or all these niggas to practice magic against, she's the one who ain't going nowhere, man. And them niggas already know it. Because once you consult them niggas, they already know that they dealing with the devil. They smiling up under their breath. Because the devil ain't going to join nothing together that God has ordered to be joined together, man. He gonna make sure that stays separated. So he's laughing up under his breath, because not only is he keeping that separated, he's destroying that woman's soul. She's already sealed her fate to the hellfire. Most of these women out here, man, that you see going crazy in the streets, they fighting their demons, man. Real talk. That's why I said there's no need to ever get revenge against the people who are self-destructive. All you have to do is step out of the way and let them self-destruct, man. Real talk. But back to the essence of the conversation, people who are delusional. This is how we've come into a delusional society. No, I was just in basically just came up out of New York. I had to run up out of there for a minute because they was having big gay parades. I mean, the parade it's like the parades are getting bigger and bigger every year, man. It's like more people are becoming homos and lesbians than ever now. Than ever. Everywhere you go, man, and the black youth are becoming homosexuals at a younger age now. They pushing that gay agenda down the throat of society like it's no tomorrow. Because, like I said, the white man know that they're not going to heaven. They already know this, so they bringing everything that's outcast in society and making that the norm. So people, the righteous, got to get viewed. You ever felt like you've been in an insane asylum where everybody that's insane is viewing you like you're insane? That's what society is like now for the righteous. We got to get looked at by the insane like we're insane. All the kids is looking up to them as the shepherds while they leading the youth into slaughter. Real talk. This is what's happening now, man. We living in that society right there. Where everything that's outcast, they bringing everything from homosexuality to the worship of Satan. They bringing all of that into society right now. It's all here. And you can just tell by all the stuff they bringing into society that basically the Antichrist is already here. They just setting the stage for the Antichrist. As we call them in Islam, the Dajjal. They are setting the stage for the Antichrist, man. And it's not only people in the streets, it's people in religion and all of that, man. People in Islam, people in Christianity, people in Judaism, that practice Judaism and everything, man. I see a lot of them rolling with the devil's followers, man. With in front of your very eyes, in front of my very eyes. I see it all the time, man. I see Muslim women, they'll hug on disbelieving men and squeeze their titties on them and everything, man. And then when they see me, all they got is contempt in their eyes for me. Yeah. I see it every day, man. Muslim women going out to the workplace. Now they wearing tight jeans. The panties is defining. They got pussy and asses hanging out and all that. They'll have the hijab on, but yeah, you get to see the ass and all of that. I know the words sound harsh, but you should see the reality. You should see the reality. See, niggas get mad about the words, but they'll basically sit by, the white man, when he know that the people are dying, like he see all of these chicks, eating all these GMOs, they dying slowly, he'll patronize them. Don't worry about that. But if you say something about it, they'll be ready to arrest you. What? Yo, you better not be disrespecting them, man. We don't want you to talk about that. Because you know why? Because that's part of their design. They want to see you dying slowly. They know that you overweight. They know that shit is killing you, got your feet swelled up. They know that every time you eat that shit, you're going to gain about 5-10 pounds. Eat a drop of that GMO shit. And like I said, that chicken shit last year, that was my worst mistake of eating that, man. One little chicken wing will make you look pregnant, man. So can you imagine these chicks that's sitting up in the house eating sandwich after sandwich and like just eating that, just consuming it. Next thing you know, you see them 6 months later, they be like, oh my God, I can't hardly move. Oh my God, what's going on? Yeah. And then when you tell them about it, you know what they'll tell you? You're going to have to accept me as I am. And they got a bunch of these thirsty ass niggas that actually accept it, man. And this is why they don't notice it. Because everybody in society will keep quiet about it until they die. Until they actually, literally die from a heart attack. Real talk. Then all of a sudden everybody went, oh my God, I can't believe it. You didn't believe it. It was happening right in front of your face, and you wouldn't even save your own friend, your own sister, your own mother, your own father, your own son, your own daughter. You niggas sat up there and patronized it and fed them all type of insecurities and downplayed the righteous virtues, though. Yeah. But you don't believe that they died off of it? This is what it was designed to do. This is why they brought it into play. But nevertheless, this is why people in society are so delusional, man. They are delusional. Everybody in America is living for the sake of a lie. All these niggas want to do is music, entertainment, and sports, man. They just want the sports and entertainment, man. They just want, and party. Niggas just want to feel good right now. Instant gratification. Same thing with the Muslims, man. You know what? Me. I'm on it. See, let me tell you something. And this is going to be the end of the conversation. They know I'm on a death list. I know that I'm on a death list, as well as every Muslim out here. They know they are also on the death list. They are also on a death list. But you know the difference? What the difference between me and them is? I get to make preparations. These niggas are so delusional that they rather be sitting ducks. They rather make friends with the very people who going to chop their heads off. And when they come kicking your doors open and snatching you and your family members off in different directions, don't start crying, man. You gonna wish you had a nigga like me around. Real talk. You gonna wish you had a nigga like me around. When they start kicking your doors down and snatching you and your family members off in different directions. Because that's what's about to start happening to the Muslims. Because the white man know that his system is crumbling, his system is coming to an end. But that's a little food for thought. But with that being said, I'm going to come to my conclusion. And what you're going to have to realize is that you got to remember one thing, man. Is that you should never fear the one who can lead you to the hellfire. You should never fear the one who can lead you to the hellfire. But fear the one who can put you in it and leave you there. Real talk. I'm not talking to all of these Muslim Jews, because damn niggas ain't listening. They think they got so much knowledge that they don't have to listen to nobody. Yeah, these niggas think I'm all knowledgeable and got their heads up in the cloud trying to figure out the finest mysteries, when Allah says, you can't figure that out. I'm the only one that can figure that out. This is for the youth. I'm talking to the youth, man. I know y'all niggas are tired of these old ass niggas, just trying to stuck in their ways and don't want to adapt to change. So we're going to do it like that, man. But you have watched another episode of The Homeless Empire at Mental Telepathy's Arena here at The Homeless Empire. And I am your host, the lyrical genius, Black Titanium. And with that being said, press that like button and that subscribe button. And give your family my love and regards, man. Peace. I'm out.